So good afternoon, guys. I'm Joe, and this is Trisha. And today, our podcast topic is all about GMOs. And our chosen topic about GMOs is Aqua Advantage Salmon. So Trisha will give us a brief background on what Aqua Advantage Salmon is.
So, Aquavantage salmon. Aquavantage salmon are Atlantic salmon engineered to contain genes from an unrelated Pacific salmon and an Arctic elpa. These modifications cause the GE salmon to produce growth hormone year-round, allegedly creating the fish that grows at twice the normal rate of a typical Atlantic salmon. Aquavantage salmon is a genetically modified food, also known as genetically engineered foods. Or bioengineered foods are foods produced from organisms. Aquavantage salmon is an Atlantic salmon developed by Aquabounty Technologies in 1989. The typical growth hormone regulating gene in the Atlantic salmon was replaced with the growth hormone regulating gene from Pacific Chinook salmon with a promoter sequence from ocean trout. The continuous expression of these transgenes allows the fish to grow all year around, instead of only during spring and summer. The stability of the new DNA construct was tested, revealing no additional mutational effects during insertion other than the two desired genes. These GM fish were backcrossed, a two-generation breeding protocol that starts by generating a hybrid offspring between two inbred strains, one of them carrying the mutation of interest. Two wild-type Atlantic salmon and the genetically modified gene sequence was identical in the second through fourth generation, indicating that the insertion is stable. These salmon are commercially competitive alternative wild-caught salmon and to fish farming of unmodified salmon. The purpose of the modifications is to increase the speed at which the fish grows without affecting its ultimate size or other qualities. Fish farms' Atlantic salmon growth rates have already been improved over wild fish as a result of traditional selective breeding practices. However, game fish are able to grow even faster and grow the market size in just 16 to 18 months rather than 3 years. Aquavantage salmon were the first genetically engineered animals approved for human consumption in the United States and Canada.
The Aqua Advantage Salmon consists of a promoter sequence from ocean pout directing the production of a growth hormone protein using the coding sequence from Chinook salmon. The continuous expression of this transgene allows the fish to grow all year round instead of only during spring and summer. So the Philippines is known to be an agriculturally rich country. With this Aqua Advantage salmon, this will address several problems here in our country. Engaging in genetically modified salmon would first help the fishermen to increase the volume of their production, which will help them to generate more income. Second, business owners and investors will be encouraged to invest their money on the product, as this can be exported to other countries and distributed to food establishments. As we all know, salmon is one of the most sought after fishes in food chains. Exportation of the Aqua Advantage salmon will generate more GDP for the country, enabling the Philippines to improve its economy and generate more GDP at large. Lastly, this product can help create employment in the country. Considering the turnover of profit, many individuals and business owners would want to expand the production, requiring more manpower. So one might ask, in general, why should we modify the DNAs of salmon? So number one, it can make the salmon more nutritious in a way that its generics can also be modified to remove genes that may cause allergic reactions or diseases. Fewer environmental resources like fertilizer might be needed to cultivate and grow the salmon, which can help it be more healthy for consumption. And number three, it can lower the costs of salmon, considering that the maintenance for growing such fishes are expensive, cutting on the food that they consume, and the fertilizer can reduce the cost, which in turn provides the fishermen more income, as I previously mentioned. Many salmon populations have disappeared completely. Is the Aqua Advantage salmon safe? So to answer that question, yes, approximately 20 years of research, testing, evaluations, development, and regulations went into getting this salmon's FDA safety approval. In fact, all GM food products must be found as safe as their non-GM counterparts before they come to the market. Next is, even though it's FDA approved, isn't this fast-growing salmon a Frankenfish salmon? So, as the American Council on Science and Health points out, the term Franken is thrown in front of a lot of biology that anti-science activists distrust and fear because they do not understand. So, scary terms and incorrect labels about these GMOs are an easy way to create fear and doubts about the safety of GMOs. But if we remove the label Franken and take a deep dive into biotechnology and the context of the term Franken, you will learn that it's not that scary and that it's only science and innovations. In this post from the American Council on Science and Health, it helps clarify the term Franken in the context of GMOs and biotechnology. So, next is, how does this GM salmon impact the environment? So this salmon has been developed to actually benefit the environment. For example, conserve wild fish populations. So the Aqua Advantage salmon grows to market size using 25% less feeds than any Atlantic salmon on the market today. This means that it requires less wild fish to be converted into salmon feed, which conserves wild fish stocks. Using GE ingredients to replace fish meal and fish oil requirements in fish feeds are helping aquaculture to be even more sustainable. Second is reducing carbon emissions. Because the Aqua Bounty salmon is farmed in land-based facilities that are close to cities, it only needs to travel a short distance to the grocery store. This cuts down on transportation and therefore carbon emissions from farm to table. Transporting the Aqua Bounty salmon emits 23 to 25 times less CO2 than the two major sources of US Atlantic salmon. Lastly, it provides low-impact fishing farming. Aqua Bounty has full control over their aquaculture rearing ecosystem. This means they have total control over water input and discharge, sanitation, and the ability to recycle resources. So second to the last is, will it create new allergies? So to answer, no. This salmon will not create new allergies. In fact, no GMO crop on the market today creates new allergies. And rigorous testing ensures they never will. If a person is allergic to a non-GM plant or animal, for example, a salmon, he or she will also be allergic to the plant's GMO counterpart. So, last is, how is GMO salmon contained? Will it breed with other salmon? The FDA requires this salmon to be grown in physically contained land-based facilities, further reducing any potential impact or breeding with wild salmon populations. The tanks that house the GE salmon have netting and screens to prevent escape. All water pipes going into and out of the facility have multiple physical barriers, such as metal screens, filters, and pumps that fish cannot pass through. As an added precaution, all genetically modified salmon eggs are female and sterile, making it impossible for them to breed among themselves and with other salmon. So that's it for our podcast. I hope you have learned so much. Thank you guys. See you.